Well, a sixth Memphis police officer has been fired in connection with the beating death of Tyree Nichols. 5 former officers also fired are charged with Nichols' murder. Now, those 5 were part of the now-disbanded Scorpion Street Crime Unit. And tonight we are getting a more in-depth look into the controversial Scorpions, once known for their sometimes violent and intimidating tactics, spreading fear on the streets of Memphis. Correspondent Ryan Bass has been digging into the details and joins us now live. Ryan, what have you learned?
Well, Natasha, these crime-fighting units are actually quite common. In fact, a former FBI special agent that I spoke to said you'll find these in most major cities that have a very high crime rate. But some of these teams have come under fire lately, especially, as you mentioned, that aforementioned now defunct Scorpion unit out of Memphis, accused of aggressive tactics and also targeting minority communities.
The whole idea was to have more visibility, be laser focused on repeat offenders.
That's what the Memphis police chief said of the now disbanded Scorpion Unit, a specialized squad that was set up to halt gang and drug-related crimes in the city. But the unit gained renewed scrutiny in the fallout of Tyree Nichols' death, a 29-year-old black man who was badly beaten by members of the Scorpion Unit during a January 7th traffic stop. All 5 of the officers that were charged with his murder were a part of that team.
This is the first time I saw a concerted effort among 5 guys acting in concert, and that was quite disturbing to me.
Memphis Scorpion Unit, a.k.a. the Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods Unit, was a 40-person team created by Police Chief C.J. Davis in the fall of 2021, all to curb the city's reported record-high homicides. Since the unit was formed, Chief Davis said it arrested over 2,000 violent felons, leading to a decrease in homicides and violent crimes in the city. But as reported by the New York Times, the unit may have been disproportionately targeting African-American men. They reviewed around 150 arrest affidavits, and about 90% of those arrested by the unit were black.
There's been an undercurrent and a common theme of maybe illegal investigative techniques used to stop and frisk, and one of those things is to profile.
Stuart Kaplan is a former FBI special agent and has worked closely with crime-suppression units like this before. He said police chiefs often create these teams under political pressure to fight high crime.
What happens is you create these units, they become an island to themselves, and they basically become unsupervised, or even though they're supervised, when there are excessive force allegations put forth, when they land on the chief's desk, because he or she is under so much political pressure to combat crime, sometimes it's swept under the rug.
Chief Davis acted swiftly and sternly, firing the officers involved after Nichols' death. But she also reportedly oversaw the Atlanta Police Department's Red Dog Anti-Crime Street Unit in 2007 and 2008, which was eventually disbanded after backlash and lawsuits over its aggressive tactics as well. Davis has defended her status leading Memphis PD.
People may question my leadership, but I would like to say that, I have stood and have done the work as it relates to how to manage an organization, what's important to the organization, the changes that I've made here.
Now, Natasha, Scorpion is certainly not the only specialized police task force here that has come under scrutiny in the last couple of years. Some that do come to mind: Baltimore's Gun Trace Task Force, also Chicago's Special Operations Section. Both of those were disbanded in recent years over controversies there. Now, these units aren't all sour. I do want to make that note. Kaplan actually told me if these units are all working together successfully, not only can they go into the communities and make inroads, but they can root out crime and restore trust in those communities as well, Natasha.
Yeah, I appreciate that distinction as well. Ryan Bass live for us this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.